Welcome to Big Business Saturdays. Hey Fola, welcome back to another episode of Big Business Saturdays. I am your host, Dreyoncé, and I'm so excited to be back here for another episode. We have a very special guest here on the show today. She is a licensed, insured, 15 times certified in permanent makeup, bloodborne pathogen certified. Give it up for Adrianna.
Hey, it's Adrianna, and you're watching Big Business Saturdays with Fola.
So, Adrianna, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on Big Business Saturdays. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thank you for having me here.
You look great.
Thank you.
Face beat.
I tried.
All right. So, we're going to start off. We're not going to jump right into the interview. I'm going to have a little fun first.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to have you pick a brick, and there's going to be a little mystery question on the other side, and we'll have you answer that.
Okay.
Yes.
I want the heaviest one.
Gotcha.
Okay.
What is your worst financial habits?
Food.
Food?
Yeah. Food.
Food, for sure.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats?
100%.
What are you ordering?
Anything. And if I don't like it, I'll order something else in the same day.
The same
hour.
day? Are you tipping?
I used to, but now it's gotten out of control. I know.
The
now
service
it's
fee
like
went up?
$2. Yeah, Uber Eats is the
Uber
devil
Eats.
for me. Yeah.
You don't have like a favorite spot that you always order from?
No, not really. I like about anything.
Yeah.
So like I'll try different places and things like that. And if I don't like it, I'll just like buy something else.
I always like to make sure my bag is tied tight because I've
Right.
seen too many videos online of the Uber
Right.
drivers, even right there at the door, like
Right.
taking a sip. But
Right.
food is the final answer. That's worst financial habit.
It's food.
Food.
It's the one that I can't control.
When you're hungry, you got to answer the call.
Right.
Yeah, but thank you so much for being on the
Yeah,
show.
of course.
We wanted to highlight you because you're doing really big things, and
you.
I just wanted to just dig a little deeper and just tell the Fola fam about like kind of your services, what you offer,
Yeah.
and what that looks like.
Okay. All right, so where do I start? So I do permanent makeups, cosmetic tattooing. So it's a semi-permanent tattoo for your eyebrows, but the industry is huge. They have it for your lips, your hair, eyeliner, areolas, but I specialize in eyebrows only. And I actually got started in the industry because my best friend had alopecia, has alopecia. She couldn't afford the service, so I learned how to do it.
For her, that's a ride or die. I wish my friends would do that for me. No, that's a beautiful story.
Yeah, actually, like I had told her to get her eyebrows tattooed because I would like paint them on for her all the time.
You just freestyling.
Right.
Wow.
Like, cause I used to like really like doing makeup and stuff like in high school. And I just got tired of doing it. So I was like, girl, you gotta get these tattooed. Like, I'm done. I'm retired. You don't even pay me for this. So she found something called microblading back in 2016. And I didn't have eyebrows either. So I booked the appointment and I went. It was in the city. It was like by some lady in Switzerland. And I paid like $650.
Oh, wow.
And then when I got it done, it changed my life. Like my confidence like went through the roof. Like I didn't have to worry about like doing my eyebrows. It was much quicker to do my makeup and everything like that. So after I got done and I felt so much better about myself, I told my friend, I was like, you have to get this done. And she was like, I can't afford that. Like, I'm not doing it. Honestly, I couldn't afford it at the time either.
Right.
I took it out like on my PayPal credit card and like just was like, I'm gonna work
Just
with this,
working.
figure it out later. I want this done. But when she told me she couldn't afford it, I just took it as an opportunity to like make a career change. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to do this, and you're gonna be my first client. And
Wow. And then everything took off from there.
Yeah.
What were you doing before that?
So before that, I was actually gonna go to law school.
Oh, wow.
So I was like a paralegal at like a big time law office in the city.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah.
And then it just wasn't for me. I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna get like financial freedom working here. Like it's really only 1% of lawyers that really like make it to the top. And
Really?
And then it's a lot of game playing. It's a lot of politics that goes into even getting there. And I was just like, you know, I'm not really about that.
Right.
So then I was just after that I started bartending. So I'd bartend and do brows like on the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
You really out here hustling.
Yeah, I was out here hustling every day.
Wow. And I love that you said that you started out because your friend had alopecia and was suffering with that condition. How have you seen your work affect your clients' lives, and how do you feel like presentation and beauty it is something that is a type priority when introducing yourself into different spaces?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you you look good, you feel good, right? So like looking good is
I
just
agree.
feeling confident all the time. Like if my hair's not done, I have hair depression. Like I'm depressed.
Yeah.
And then I get my hair done, I'm like, wow, I was depressed the whole time because my hair wasn't done. I just didn't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And eyebrows, they make or break your face. They truly do. So when I have my clients come in, like a lot of them even cry. Like when I'm finished and they see themselves in the mirror, they will legit start crying just because of how happy they are and like how different they look. Yeah, it's actually like a really emotional job too. Like I feel like sometimes I kind of go home like feeling like a lot of emotional weight on me because a lot of women come in there like telling me their stories about their husbands or just sad situations, and like they really come to me like to feel better. Like it's like so many women that come in like I'm just doing this for myself because I want to feel good for me, you know. So yeah, it has a huge impact on women daily. Changed my life. So.
You see transformations in like lifestyles and confidence. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
if I like, sometime I'll follow some of my clients back. Like if they tag me and stuff and I just remember to do it and I'll follow them back. And like they're literally like a different person. Like they're going on vacation more, like, you know, because now they have waterproof brows. So now they don't have to worry about like their brows coming off if they go in the water. Like they're literally like just living their best life. And they come like after they get their initial appointment, they come within like 4 to 6 weeks to get it done. And they'll just tell me from there, like, this really changed my life. Like I go out more because it takes me less time to get ready because doing your brows can take up to an hour, you know, depending on your situation.
Okay.
So you save time. So now you're perfecting other areas of your makeup or maybe your outfit. Like now you're giving yourself more time to do other things.
And it all just collects in the presentation.
Exactly.
And I know there's like different types of services for the eyebrows. Like I know you said some people get a tattoo, some people, can you just explain like the differences of each?
So I offer 2 different services. It's called ombre powder and microblading. They're both tattoos, semi-permanent tattoos. So they last about 1 to 3 years depending on the service that you get. Microblading lasts 1 to 3 years. It's like more of a natural technique where like I mimic the actual hair strokes.
Okay.
But not everybody can get that. So if you have oily or large pore skin, you can't get that technique. And a lot of people want that because they want it to look natural. But either way, both techniques look natural. Ombre powder is more of like a makeup look, but it can look really soft and natural, like if you request it. And it tends to last longer, and it's actually better for melanated skin.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
We love our melanin over
Right,
here.
exactly. So.
And I see like you're so confident, you really know your stuff. Were you always like this when you're starting out in the business, or did you have to overcome any doubts in your life, would you say, or people not taking your craft seriously?
So I feel like I've always been like pretty confident, like since I was a kid. Like anything that I said, like I have I'm indecisive, but when I decide I want to do something, I'm very decisive about it. So since I was little, I used to always say like I'm gonna be my own boss, I'm gonna have my own business. Nobody in my family believed me. They'd be like, "Oh, you think it's that easy, huh?" Like, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I actually do, and I'm gonna do it." Even when I started my business, I had no support from my family at all. Like everything self-made, did on my own. I actually took the class. It was like $3,700 for me to take my first class, and I opened a credit card that I didn't have to pay off for like 15 months, no interest.
Wow.
And I put it on that, and it took me 2.5 years to pay it off. So I actually ended up paying interest on it. So no loans, nobody lent me money. Begged my mom, she said no, you can go back to grad school, but I'm not paying for that. You know, it's just a fad, it's just this. Even my grandmother, same thing. Like literally no one believed in me.
Wow. Did it make you doubt yourself at any moment?
No.
No?
Not once. Because, I mean, it's my vision. People can't see what I see. It's not them. So I feel like when you do have something that you see and, like, you can envision it, and it's just, you have to believe in yourself.
Right.
Because people are going to give you their perspective based off of how they feel.
Right.
And if they don't have the confidence that you have, they're going to tell you based off on how they feel. And I'm not them, so I'm not going to.
It has nothing to do with you.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So.
And, you know, they say the best success is your paper.
Right.
And how has their reaction been to seeing you thrive now?
Oh, it's totally different.
Really?
It's the complete opposite.
It feels good.
Yeah, it does feel good.
Yeah.
It does feel good. For a long time, it's definitely like what thrived me, for sure. Like it definitely kept me going to like oh, I have a point to prove. You know, you guys doubted me from the beginning, and look at me now. Like, you know, my grandma had just even said a few months ago, like, I'm glad you did what you did because I'm glad you never went to law school because you would have never made this much money being a lawyer, ever.
Wow.
You know, and it felt good to hear her say that because like when I started in the beginning, she literally like looked me in my face and was like, "This is just a fact. It's just you on your journey. You can't live somebody else's dreams." Now that I'm older, because college I really didn't feel like was for me. Like I feel like I would have been a millionaire already had I like went with the wave and went with YouTube and did makeup. Like that was really like my passion. But because I decided to listen to my family and go to college and pursue law, I feel like it set me back. So had I just trusted myself and believed in me and not listened to my family and what they told me I should do, I'd be a lot further in my journey. So if I could tell my younger self, I would just say, at the end of the day, none of these people are going to pay your bills. Nobody's paying my college tuition, even though they forced me to go. It's just me. So these people don't have a say-so in your future because they live their life for them. So you have to live your life for you. Definitely listening to my intuition has become more prominent for sure. Like if it's not in my gut and I don't feel it in my soul, I'm just not doing it. I do not take advice from people who have not done it yet at all. That's like my number one thing. If I wouldn't want to trade places with you, I'm not taking advice from you. Just not.
Period.
And I was just like, whatever.
And I'm glad you were smart enough to know that their opinions had nothing to do with you and you
Right.
sought out your dream, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people struggle with. You know, it's so easy just listen to those voices or even your own voice in your own head and be like, man, okay, let me just go a safe route.
Right.
But you are a living success story of that. And I know that you're offering the same opportunities, training services.
Yeah.
So tell me more about that.
So yeah, I actually teach people how to do what I do, men and women, take my courses. So it's either 1 to 3 day course. And yeah, I basically tell you how to like jumpstart your own business. I teach you the actual technique. I let people know about the good and bad. It's definitely not one of those things where it's like get money rich quick scheme. Like, you know, it actually requires like skill and practice. I think a lot of people can see how much money can be made in this industry and they're just like, oh, I want to learn because I want to make this kind of money, you know? But you do have to have a passion for it.
Right.
I already had a passion of doing like makeup and brows beforehand. And even if you don't have a passion for it, if you get good enough, you will develop that passion. But if you're just in it to win it for the money, it's just not going to work out.
I think they say that with just anything that you do. Like some people want to study a certain thing because it's supposed to be really promising. Passion has to fuel you as well, I think, as well as, you know, financial motivation. Well, who are your beauty icons that you looked up to, like that growing up, that you say influenced you, your everyday style, your glamour style? Like, who did you grow up watching and like, wow, I want to look like that?
Okay, I would have to say Alicia Keys is one.
Okay.
Just because when I was younger, I used to always hit the cornrows with the two in the front. So people would always say, like, I look like her.
We got to bring up the picture.
People would literally, actually, I ran into Ricky Thompson in Cancun. Yeah, he was so awesome. And he literally looked at me. He was like, oh my God, you look like Alicia Keys. You need to put it on TikTok. You need to do a lookalike. You'll go viral. So ever since then, I'm like, should I be like Alicia Keys next Halloween and put it on TikTok? But
I want to see it. I want to hear. You do old school Alicia Keys debut, 2003.
I think I might have to do it.
Carry around a piano.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, it's so funny though, because I know she went through like a bare face phase.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? I think her message was she didn't want to really put on too much makeup because she wanted to highlight her natural beauty. Yeah. Would you still consider her like an icon?
Yeah, absolutely.
For your own like reflection of your own business, even though she was doing a natural thing?
I feel like most people book with me because I make the brows look as natural as possible. Believe it or not, even though I have a lot of makeup on right now. My goal is to like make my skin so nice to where like I don't ever need makeup or anything like that. So the whole natural beauty thing is like my avenue too, but it's just like you just do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. I think beauty, natural beauty and just taking care of your skin and just hygiene is all part of just the overall beauty spectrum.
Self-care is the best care. So.
And do you ever have like, how do you deal with, I know you said your eyebrows are very natural looking. How do you deal with like client expectations? And because I know some people are very picky, especially when it comes to their food and their looks.
Right.
Yeah. So is that something that you really take into consideration and you try to just satisfy them? And is there any case times that, you know, maybe they're not? And how do you handle that?
So yeah, customer satisfaction is always the goal, no matter what. So basically like what I do before I actually start the procedure is I map it out. And I show them the mapping before I even start anything at all. And even sometimes I ask them pictures like of their brow goals and stuff. No matter what, I always go with the natural structure of a person's brows, regardless. So they're natural shape. So sometimes I have them show me pictures, some kind of get an idea, or show me a picture of themselves on how they draw their brows. And I always just go over the shape with them first, explain it to them. I've been in the industry for quite some time now, so if anybody is booking with me, they see my work and they kind of pretty much trust me at this point. And when I actually started like increasing my prices, it's kind of crazy because it kind of eliminated those like picky people. So now I really don't even like have that problem anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure you're like Picasso at this point. Like, okay, you want this and that and the third? Right, 1, 2, 3. And I know that you're speaking at the PMU Conference. Tell me a little bit more about that. I know you're speaking on how to increase clientele and how to like market yourself. And so how excited are you for that, and how are you gonna prepare?
I'm excited. It's actually my 3rd conference that I'll be speaking at.
Okay.
It's in Miami, so I'm super excited that it's in Miami. I get to have like fun in the sun and teach at the same time. So I just prepare for that by like being honest and like being vulnerable and like transparent with my journey. Letting people know that it's not easy. You know, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they like to highlight like the glitz and the glams of the lifestyle, but that's only because we're not posting when we're crying at nighttime. Right. You know what I mean? So my plan when I go there is just to like give the good and the bad. You know, with every situation there's light and dark, and it's just not fair to mislead people with just good stuff, because there's going to be dark times too, just as much.
And how do you say your approach for your business have changed from the beginning to where you are now?
In what aspect? What do you mean?
Like just the mindset that you have when you approach it. Is there anything mistakes that you've learned along the way, or things that you do differently now compared to like when you started, that you say you've learned from and that you apply?
Yeah, I think there's a lot. As far as like even like building a team, I think that's something I really struggled with in the beginning, was like having an assistant and employees. I think I used to just hire people just because like I knew they needed a job, or like someone that knew someone that needed a job, and like me trying to give them an opportunity. That's like a big lesson that I learned throughout the years, because that was something I kept doing. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna give this person a chance. You know, like you kind of want to bring everybody up with you, right? And as a business owner over the years, I realized like sometimes I can like drag you down, right? So now I don't make that mistake anymore. Like I hire accordingly. Like I actually put ads out on Indeed or Craigslist, and I only hire people who have experience. So I think that was like one of like my toughest struggles, because my business, like one point, like as far as like where I wanted to head, it was just always like kind of like chaotic and unorganized. And I felt like that was because I wasn't hiring the correct help, because I was trying to help other people when I was still trying to like help myself.
Gotcha. So tighten it up, got more organized with it.
Yeah.
And when you hire people, what would you say are the qualities that you look for that will make a great person in your industry?
Someone who's like a self-starter, someone who likes to push and encourage people. Like my new assistant now, I love her to death. Like even on the days that I don't like working, she's like, no, we have to get this done. Like you're not leaving until you do. And like that's definitely something that I needed, because I feel like as an entrepreneur, like you don't have that discipline like you did when you had like a 9 to 5, where like you had a boss telling you like, no, like you got to do this or you lose your job, right? As an entrepreneur, like there'll be days where I'm like, all right, I'm leaving work, even though I know I have to do this. I'm going home, or I'm going out with friends, because I have nobody to check me or tell me otherwise. Like who's gonna check me, you know? And I think it's important that you have somebody in your life and on your team that's willing to check you when needed. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. Even if it's your own employee, I think that's very humble too, because we all can get checked at one point, right?
Yeah.
And being a woman in this industry, how do you think your own personal identity and your own personal culture have influenced your success in your entrepreneurship?
As far as my culture, so
where are you from?
I'm Jamaican.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as my culture and like being Jamaican, I guess it's just I don't ever give up. I just like work, you know, really hard. Even before I was my own entrepreneur, like I had like 4 and 5 jobs, literally.
Really?
Like literally.
She was a bartender.
Yeah.
And she was doing eyebrows.
Well, when I was bartending, I actually still had a 9 to 5 job.
Oh, wow.
It was like 9 to 3, and then after that, I would do a brow from like 3:30 to 5, and then I would bartend starting at 7. And I wouldn't get off till 6 a.m.
Wow.
So yeah.
Do you think that motivation came up from watching women in your own family?
Yeah.
And their work ethic from? Did they migrate from Jamaica?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I definitely think it's cultural. Like if you ask any like Jamaican, like, they usually have about 3 or 4 jobs. Like, even when I would tell people, like, oh, I have this many jobs, they'd be like, are you Jamaican? Because, like, it's like a known thing. My grandma was the same way.
Yeah.
Like, my grandma literally had so many jobs. She's actually, like, a huge influence, like, of me being who I am today, because I watched her work so hard. I used to actually go to the jobs with her.
Oh, wow.
Like, she used to, she was like a CNA. She used to watch people's kids. Like, she literally did whatever to get to the bag. And now she's, like, retired in Jamaica, living with her husband, living her best life. So, like, that's kind of, like, you know, my motivation and, like, where I get my drive from. Because, you know, like, I want to retire, and hopefully a lot sooner than she was able to, and I know what you have to do to kind of get there. So.
Do you find yourself, like, doing something like, oh my God, I'm turning into my grandma right now, or this is something she would do while you're in your business? Like, because I know you said you grew up watching her and seeing her ethic. Some of that still has to be instilled in you, like, as far as, like, how you maneuver and how you move.
Yeah. Sometimes I did find myself, like, working myself to death, like, just too much. And that's actually, like, another lesson I learned. You do have to take out time for yourself.
Yeah.
So I do, like, travel a lot more now. And, like, if I just need a break, I'll take it. Like, when in the past, like, I was even, like, working on my birthday just because I'm like, oh, I gotta work. Like, even though it's my birthday, I don't care. I gotta make money. And it's just, like, it's not that deep. Like, you could die tomorrow. Literally.
I actually see a lot of older people say they have regrets for working so hard and feeling they have to do so much, like, when they look back at their overall life. So I'm glad that you definitely found the balance.
Yeah.
What kind of legacy would you like to leave behind in your overall business? Once you stop working, when people hear Adrianna, they associate that with fill in the blank.
That whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve. Like, literally, like, if you can manifest whatever it is that you want, like, nothing is impossible.
Do you have any manifestation tips that you would say that give out? Because I'm really into that right now. And, you know, we try to meditate, we try to attract and not chase, and we try to just welcome and open ourselves up to all these great opportunities that we know we're in control of. Like you said, you knew you were gonna go out and do it. Nobody could tell you nothing. You would not step into no courtroom to be a lawyer.
Right.
She said, I know. What would you say is something that you could tell the Fola fam to help you manifest whatever entrepreneurship or business that you want to start?
So I actually have a lot of manifestation tips. One of them is journaling and writing things in the present tense like it already happened, but not only doing that, giving like a cause and effect, like why you want this to happen. So like I would like take my journal out, and I would only do this like when I really like felt like I believed it in the moment. So I would say I write down like, I'm so grateful and thankful that I made $10,000 this month with my business by providing a service that gave women confidence. So it's like I'm asking for something and I'm grateful that I'm receiving it, but I'm also giving something back at the same time. So that's something I would do. And then like in the mornings, I would like close my eyes and put like a 5-minute timer on some meditation music, and I would just zone out and think of, for 5 minutes straight, just say things that I was grateful for. And it didn't matter what it was. I could say I'm grateful for the grass, I'm grateful for this, just over and over and over and over again. And then you'll start to do that like unconsciously, like just throughout your day. And it just kind of like helps you like believe more, like, and just, I feel like when you give thanks, you'll receive anything that you want, you know?
Definitely agree, because especially starting your own business, being an entrepreneur, like you said, you're your own boss. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. It can be a very stressful time, but I think sometimes we fail to realize, you know, in the process, how grateful we can be that we're even in the process.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if you don't have it, you're already speaking it as a present. So I love that you said that, because I think it's definitely a useful tip, and just some people want to hope instead of just being present. So I love that you said that. Yeah. And what does the next chapter look like for you, Adrianna, in regards to your business and your entrepreneurship, and what plans can we expect from you?
So in the next chapter, within like the next few months, I definitely plan on hiring some employees to actually start, like, that I'm going to train to like work under me, do my brow tour. So I want to go to different cities, like Miami, Atlanta, LA, to do like you know, a worldwide training. What else? I want to start investing in some real estate. That way I can not be at work so much and make money while I'm sleeping. And then I kind of just like want to continue to like teach and mentor people to like to do the same thing. Because at the end of the day, we all want financial freedom. Right? We just don't know how to really obtain it. So if I can learn how to like do all that and give back and teach people how to the same thing, that would like make me really happy.
Yeah, I think that would be really fulfilling to be able to do that for others. And like you said, it's an emotional job.
Right.
You know, you take on a lot. And that leads me to my next question, since you mentioned financial freedom. Here at Fola, we have 4 core principles that we go by, and each one stands for a letter in the Fola word. So we have financial freedom, opulence, legacy, and abundance. Which would you say resonates with you in your entrepreneurship and your own personal journey the most? Well, I'll say it again: financial freedom, opulence, legacy, and abundance.
I feel like abundance, because I feel like when times gets tough, it could be very stressful, and like you can kind of forget like how much you already have. And that's something that I have to remind myself of every day. Like when I'm like just not feeling the best, and I just like don't feel like going to work, and then I'm like, well, if I don't go to work, I'm gonna be broke, or like, or whatever the case. And then I just kind of have to like slow down and be like, well, look how much you achieved. Like, it's okay if you didn't get that done last week, or you look at all you have. So I feel like just realizing that you know, you've done enough. Not enough, because I always feel like I need to do more, but not to be like so hard on yourself. So I feel like
it's easy to forget how far you've come.
Exactly.
And then sometimes you look back at the journey and be like, okay, I'm not in the same place I was before.
Sometimes I'll even like read my journal like on my toughest days, like from like 3 years ago, and I'm like, you're not that girl anymore, so you better be thankful, because you don't want to resort back to that. So like just be thankful for like where you're at right now.
And where can we find you? Socials. Let the Fola fam know in case anybody. I make sure I got my eyebrows done today. I didn't get no microblading, but I went to my third lady. I'm just like, make sure it's right.
I wouldn't have judged you. I'm not a judgmental person. I would not have judged you.
I was judging myself.
I would have just been like, just DM me later. But you can find me on Instagram. My name is brow.brat. You can find a list of my services on my website. Well, it's actually just a booking page, but it's www.browbrat.com. You can always reach out. My assistant is always available to answer any questions that anybody might have. And you can always say hi in the DMs. I always answer DMs or anything like that. So
okay, thank you so much for coming on Big Business Saturday with Fola Financial, and I'm sure they're gonna be hitting you up saying, girl, get me together. So I really thank you, Adrianna, for coming on the show. And I am Dreyoncé, and thank you for tuning into another episode of Big Business Saturdays, and take care. Bye.
Telling money on that, and I can see it coming, cause I'm rocking with Fola, cause I handle my financial. I'm rocking with Fola, cause I handle my financial.